Hello there and welcome to Ringgit Sense. I'm Azaria Tagaya, your host. With Mata Fair coming up in just a few days, many are already planning their holiday getaways. However, scammers are also out there waiting to take your hard-earned money. Now, you may have heard of stories of travelers left stranded at the airport or forced to pay extra. How do you know when a travel package is real? So in our first story, we're sharing some travel tips that you can use to avoid scammers. Scammers work in various ways using unauthorized agents, sometimes fake companies, and also fake identities. So one of the most popular travel scams is for Umrah travel. So we spoke to ALCC Al Amin Travel to find out how people can actually avoid being duped by scammers when it comes to looking for a good Umrah package. According to ALCC Al Amin Travel Managing Director Muhammad bin Abdullah Al Amin, these days it's easier for scammers to approach potential victims since advertising has become more accessible.
Dan sekarang ni kalau kita tengok kira macam pengiklanan tidak bergantung semata-mata kepada radio, TV, expo. Sekarang ni Facebook juga sebagai satu medium sebagai untuk memarketkan atau mengiklankan satu benda. Jadi banyak kadang-kadang orang tertipu dengan cara demikian. Walau macam mana pun, ada juga kadang-kadang dia tak niat menipu dan dia ada lesen. Tetapi urusan dengan negara Arab ni, siapa yang pernah berurusan memang sangat susah. Kadang-kadang orang Arab sana yang suka tiba-tiba nak batalkan hotel, kadang-kadang jadual penerbangan suka-suka nak tukar, kadang-kadang visa tak nak keluar. Jadi mana kita kena tengok benda ni. Apa yang saya nak nasihatkan adalah kalau kita rasa kita ditipu, terus pergi kepada Kementerian Pelancongan dan buat satu report kat sana. Dan kita boleh pastikan bahawa adakah syarikat itu benar-benar menipu ataupun dia juga terkena dengan orang lain yang akhirnya terkandas jemaah tu.
Believe it or not, even unauthorized agents can sometimes take part in travel fairs. Here's why it happens.
Kadang-kadang apabila kita seseorang tu nak join expo pelancongan begini, kadang-kadang tak diminta pun kita punya lesen dan sebagainya. So ini maknanya ada yang memang hanya daftar boleh masuk. Kadang-kadang hanya minta nombor lesen saja. Dan memanglah kalau dah beratus syarikat yang masuk, kadang-kadang penganjur tak juga periksa pun dekat Kementerian Pelancongan dan sebagainya. So ini yang boleh berlaku kadang-kadang, bagaimana orang-orang seperti begini boleh menyertai.
According to Muhammad, one of the first things to look at is the price. If the price offered looks too cheap to be true, then it probably is.
Untuk package umrah, 5,000 ke atas. Kalau bawah 5,000, maka hati-hatilah. Sebab tiket pun lebih kurang dalam 3,000 lebih. 3,000 lebih ataupun kadang sampai 4,000 setengah tempat, setengah masa tu, contoh macam cerita sekolah dan sebagainya. So ini maknanya penginapan kita kat sana lebih kurang dalam 1,000 lebih, 2,000. So 5,000 ke atas, 5,000 ke bawah, macam mana pun dia cuba meyakinkan kita, saya nasihatkan jangan sertailah.
When it comes to Umrah travel, there are certain guidelines you must follow. As such, Muhammad advises consumers not to be too quick to buy into so-called DIY Umrah packages.
Daripada sudut undang-undang dia, seseorang tidak boleh mengendalikan maksudnya perjalanan pelancongan jika dia tidak ada lesen, dan dia boleh didakwa lah industri pelancongan. Jadi maknanya walaupun yang DIY tapi diuruskan oleh syarikat yang berlesen, tak apa. Ada juga maknanya dia panggil free and easy. Makan tak ada, apa tak ada, dia suruh kapal terbang, visa dan juga hotel. So pergi sendiri ke apa semua, itu sendirilah pergi masjid. Dia tak ada sediakan mutawif, tak ada sediakan apa. Itu okey. Tapi kalau dia kata macam beli tiket sendirilah, beli nanti nak tempah hotel sendirilah, ambil visa daripada orang entah mana-mana entah, ini kena hati-hatilah. Takut kita nak murah tapi hanya terkandas kat sana dan sebagainya.
However, as a customer, there are ways to protect yourself from getting scammed.
kalau kita tengok dekat maknanya signboard dia wajib meletakkan nombor dipanggil KPKLN. So maksudnya nanti kalau sini boleh tengok sini, maknanya dari nombor dia. So nombor tu sebenarnya kalau kita dapat, kita boleh call je Kementerian Pelancongan. Boleh tak saya nak bertanyakan status syarikat ini benar-benar didaftarkan di bawah Kementerian Pelancongan ataupun tidak. So nombor tu yang penting. Kadang-kadang kalau kita tengok agensi pelancongan tapi tak ada nombor tu. Okay, jadi maknanya dia hanya mendaftarkan syarikat dia kepada Suruhanjaya Syarikat tapi tidak mendapat lesen mengendalikan pelancongan.
Since we're talking about travel tips, one of the things that's often overlooked is travel insurance. Now, we met with GoBear, a tech company that compares travel insurance products to find out how you can pick the right one. If you're out on a beach on a holiday, no one wants to think about what happens when things go wrong. What if you fall and hurt yourself, or you miss your connecting flight? According to PC Gun, the country director of GoBear, this is why you need travel insurance.
The main things that travel insurance cover is really for like loss of baggage, cancellation of flights, and things like that. So these kind of things, it's only when you travel that happens. So it's only for that short period of time. It's what travel insurance covers.
GoBear compares travel insurance packages so that travelers can pick one according to their needs. Key in the date of your travel and destination, and you can compare by price and coverage. So how do you pick the right one for you?
Insurance, you need to ask yourself, so where are you heading towards, and what kind of exposure of risks that you are going to take. So say example, if I'm going to go for rock climbing in Phuket, the tendency of me getting injured is probably a little bit higher than, say, probably just having a beach holiday in Bali. So it depends on the activities that you have during that period of time.
Not all packages will cover extreme sports. So if you're thinking of skiing in Japan or whitewater rafting in Thailand, then read the policy of the insurance first. Do they cover the activities in your itinerary?
If you know that you're going to do some extreme sports or things that will expose you to risks of like falling or things like that, you would want to get yourself covered.
You might be asking yourself, if I already have health insurance, why do I need extra health coverage in my travel insurance? Well, some travel insurance policies will also have emergency medical evacuation. If you land in the hospital in Japan while skiing, you would need to be sent home to recuperate in Malaysia, where the medical cost would be cheaper.
It's two very different things. So health insurance is something that you would cover yourself on a longer term basis, like say, for example, to 70 years old kind of thing. I don't think you want to use that coverage to cover for something that's short term and of something that is, I would probably say, shorter, smaller impact in terms of your medical bills. So travel insurance generally is cheaper than your usual health premiums.
After the break, we're going to be talking about your rights as an airline passenger. What happens when a flight is delayed or cancelled? What will be the major travel trends for this year? The answers after this break. Welcome back to Ringgit Sense. We're sharing traveling tips today, and we're continuing with your rights as an airline passenger. The Malaysian Aviation Commission, or MAVCOM, was set up in 2016 to regulate the civilian aviation industry and also protect the rights of passengers.
The Consumer Protection Code covers for all airlines operating in and out of Malaysia. Now that includes a full service carrier and a low cost carrier as well. So your rights are protected under the Consumer Protection Code, whether you're traveling from a low cost carrier or a full service carrier, and it includes the foreign carriers as well.
With MAVCOM's Consumer Protection Code, some of your rights are guaranteed. A video MAVCOM has produced explains further what an airline must do when your luggage is lost or your flight is delayed.
If your bag or mobility equipment, such as your wheelchair or walking frame, is lost, damaged, or does not arrive on the same flight, you have the right to be compensated. If your flight is delayed for more than 2 hours, you're entitled to free meals and limited phone calls. However, for flight delays of more than 5 hours, you're also eligible for hotel accommodation if necessary, as well as transport to and from the hotel. In the event that your flight is cancelled, you're entitled to a full refund or to an alternative flight at the earliest opportunity or at a later date.
Pushpalata also offers other tips for those who want to buy travel packages overseas, especially those that have connecting flights.
If you are purchasing a connecting flight, to different cities around the world, the advice is make sure that your connecting flight has got a couple of hours more for you to connect. There could be delays that can be anticipated, so it's important that you actually kind of have the connecting flight a little bit, probably an hour or 2 hours more.
There are also important questions you need to ask your airline or travel agency before making a purchase. This will help ensure your rights.
So how do you exercise these rights? By being informed. Before buying a ticket with an airline or travel agent, be aware of the full cost of the ticket and its breakdown, which airline you're flying with, and the flight details. If your airline expects to cancel your flight, or if your flight will be delayed for 30 minutes or more, you have the right to be informed. Before purchasing your ticket, you should be made aware of the airline's terms and conditions, which contain crucial information such as, does my airline allow me to transfer my ticket to someone else? And if I were to cancel my flight and require a refund, is there a fee charged by the airline? What travel documents must I have before I fly? Are airlines allowed to reschedule my flight?
If you feel that your rights have been violated, consumers should write to the airline or travel agency, and they're supposed to respond within 30 days. If you do not get a response, then you can lodge a complaint to Mavcom.
If you are unhappy with the solution provided, or if your complaint is not resolved within 30 days, submit a complaint to the Malaysian Aviation Commission, Mavcom, and our team will be ready to assist you. To learn more about your air travel rights, please visit www.mavcom.my.
Consumers can also call their hotline or visit their office to lodge a complaint. However, there are a few things you should realize. Mavcom can only investigate flights coming into or originating from Malaysia. If you think your rights have been violated outside of Malaysia, let's say your luggage was lost in a connecting flight in Thailand, then Mavcom cannot intervene.
They can lodge a complaint, of course, but we will advise them we do not have the jurisdiction beyond the land of Malaysia. So the Consumer Protection Code actually starts from the land of Malaysia.
That's why Mavcom advises consumers to purchase travel insurance. If you miss the connecting flight or have damaged baggage, the insurance will protect you when things go wrong. Now, the upcoming Mata Fair starting this Friday is set to attract travellers with almost 1,300 booths. In the last fair in September, it generated sales in excess of 205 million ringgit, and that means the appetite for Malaysians to travel is still strong in Malaysia. So this year, we want to know what are the travel trends and what are the places that Malaysians are taking their holidays at. So to answer this question, we have in our studio Izra Izzuddin, the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for Firefly. Hi Izra, thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, thanks for having me here.
Okay,
today.
so before we start things off, please let us know a little bit more about Firefly for those not initiated.
Okay, first of all, a lot of people thought that we are a budget airline, which we are not. We are full service, and it's just that we travel from Sky Park and we fly turboprops. So again, we are full service, which we provide a lot of additional benefits and allowances for our travellers. And again, we are predominantly domestic.
Okay.
Yep.
So with Mata Fair coming up, a lot of people are looking at taking their holidays soon, planning their holidays. So what are some of the travel trends that you've seen in the past few years for Malaysians?
Last year for Firefly itself, it's pretty much about looking at school holidays because we work a lot with travel agents as well. And we had our travel partner, and we own a product called Firefly Holiday. So we use all these avenues to ensure that this trend is actually to meet the expectations. What I can say is last year it was pretty much about mata fair or not. So a lot of people travel during festive season because festive season nowadays are like it's pretty much about not really balik kampung anymore. They go for a holiday. And mata fair last year, I can say that Malaysians are pretty smart now, and they prefer to travel locally. When the tourism minister introduced a lot of local attractions, so we actually open up our eyes instead of traveling internationally, you know, and especially with families with so many kids. And financial is something that they need to look at. So, but as parents, I can say they have to bring, or they need to bring, or they want to bring their kids somewhere. The fastest one, cost efficient, or something that is still fun, so they travel locally.
Now, as someone working in the airline industries, can you give us some tips about when would be the best time to actually buy tickets and when would be the best time to travel? Because you mentioned just now, people like to travel during festive seasons, not just balik kampung, but go somewhere they've wanted to travel to. So in terms of best value for money, what would be the best destinations and best time to buy?
For Firefly, every destination is value for money to us because we don't have a specific fare for a specific destination. So we encourage people to book in advance, especially during festive season, because as you know, festive season is always about, you know, everyone is flying back, everyone is flying out and in and out. So the best time to book is actually few months before, because sometimes you don't know what will happen next, because we might have some promotions, we might have fare adjustments, we might have additional benefits that we give. So when you see something attractive is happening, so always go to the website to get to know what's going on. We are currently running Everyone Gets a Prize, so that's our key campaign of Q1. It's basically how it works is that you just book any tickets with Firefly, 1 ticket, 2 tickets, any destination, and you get a price.
Well, there's this perception that if you buy, especially with budget airlines, but you mentioned that Firefly is not really a budget airline. So if you buy tickets like months beforehand, it's going to be cheaper no matter what the airline. So can you give us like a price difference? Is it really going to be cheaper if you buy like a year ahead?
Buying in advance, yes, sometimes you can get at a cheaper price. But being a corporate person or a business traveler, sometimes you don't really mind about the fare, because at the end of the day, you just want to get to your meetings on time. We are not among the cheapest, to be honest, but I can say that with the fare that you pay, or with the price that you pay, the value that you get is actually more than the price that you pay. So for me, being a leisure traveler or being a corporate traveler, so you get the value, like, you know, more than what you were expecting. Yep.
Understand. Okay, so Isra, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about travel tips and trends for you guys. More on that when we continue on Ringgit Sense. Back on Ringgit Sense with me, Azara Tagaya, and we are still speaking to Isra Izzuddin, the Vice President of Marketing and Communications at Firefly, and we're talking about traveling tips and trends. Okay, Isra, before the break, we talked about Firefly and some of the services you offer, and also some of the destinations that Malaysians choose. Now, one of the biggest complaints by all travelers, no matter what the airline, is flight delays. So can you share with us some facts about flight delays in Firefly, and what's your SOP, your standard operating procedure when you deal with these cases?
It's very interesting because we fly and we are working in an airline, so we feel what the consumers feel. We all hate flight delays, and we don't like being late, or, you know, we want to be on time, especially when I mentioned earlier that we are carrying corporate travelers. So for us working in an airline, you know, we got to go to Singapore for meetings and we don't want to be late. So when it comes to flight delays, I can proudly say that we don't have that many delays, and we manage everything quickly. I can say that the team is very efficient, but we do have standard operating procedure, but because things happen. For something that we detected like 2 days or 3 days before the flight date or the flight time, we will inform the consumers or the passengers through SMS or phone call. We have our call center that they can contact. We have our Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. So there's always platforms that we can do announcement or to communicate with them. In the event that the delay happens on the spot, like you're already at the airport, you're already at the gate, and then you get to know that your flight is delayed. So what we do is we will tell them that, because it's due to bad weather. For Firefly, safety is very key to us. We won't compromise something like that. Safety is very key to us, but we ensure that we rectify or we fix every problem quickly. For something that happened on the spot, I can say that we will do announcement and we'll ensure that the delay won't be more than 30 minutes. But if in the event that something that is more than an hour or 2 hours, I think everyone heard on the radio that, is a new information made by MAFCOM that for delays more than 2 hours, the passengers will be given food vouchers. So for Firefly, we do have ground staff. So we really trust our ground employees. So they manage whatever incidents efficiently.
What about if the person has bought a ticket? Now you mentioned you fly more corporate passengers. So if the person has bought the ticket and they can't use it or they have to cancel at the last minute, can they ask for a refund or what's the procedure for that?
That's the catch about this airline, Firefly, because we do have Fly Premier and we do have Sea Wallet for corporate. So since that we are talking about corporate travellers, Fly Premier is pretty much about leisure or even corporate. So with Fly Premier or Sea Wallet, the flexibility is there. If you want to cancel your flight, if you want to change the date, if you want to change the time, it's flexible. You can do that. So without paying additional, because the difference between Fly Premier Sea Wallet with the normal ticket that you buy, so you just pay a little bit more, you get all the benefits that the normal passenger doesn't get. So we do have everything in hand. So that is why I mentioned earlier that we carry or we live with a tagline that is beyond convenience. We prepare all the products that we have to foresee the possible incidents or the possible situations that will happen to our passengers.
Okay. We're running out of time, but on a final note, what is Firefly planning for in the near future? Like, what are your targets and what can consumers actually look forward to? Okay,
this year our direction is FY is for you. So FY is, if you know, FY is our flight code. And it stands, it means for you, and it also means that FY is always for you. Firefly is always there for you. So the direction for this year, I can say, is actually to sustain the corporate market that we have. That is our key or core audience, and to attract more leisure market, because we have Langkawi, we have Penang, we have Phuket, we have Singapore, we have Terengganu, we have Johor Bahru. The offerings that we have for this year is actually beyond flying our passenger from point A to point B. We have e-store. We have e-wallet. So e-store, why I'm talking about e-store now is actually you don't have to fly with us to get our merchandise or products. Which means that if you want to have the items that we have, you can just go to the website or the e-store to purchase our products. So I can say that for this year, we are looking at a 360 kind of marketing implementation or effort or campaigns. We want to serve to everyone.
Okay, so all the best to you and all the best to Firefly as well.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Isra Izzuddin with us just now talking about travel tips and trends. Now, we hope that the travel tips we shared will be of use to you. Now, if you know someone who will be visiting Mata Fair this weekend, share with them today's interview from our Facebook page, Ringgit Sense TV3. We also have other financial planning tips that you can browse through on Facebook as well. Until next week, I'm Azara Tagaya signing out, and we'll see you next time.